Welcome to our discussion on redefining clinical trials with AI. Today, we're exploring the idea of using artificial intelligence to cut down the long, drawn-out timelines in drug and device development.
Yep. It's crazy to think that traditional drug development can stretch out over 10 to 15 years, and devices still take years, not to mention the astronomical costs involved, right?
Absolutely. Exactly. The research outlines how AI methodologies, like predictive intelligence using machine learning, automation via NLP and robotic process automation, integration of data systems, and transparency through explainable AI, can speed up these processes substantially.
So, in essence, it's like transforming these clinical trial processes from a linear marathon into a streamlined race?
Right. Yeah, it's like we're moving from a clunky traditional system to one that's dynamic and adaptive. They even detailed a 4-pillar framework: predictive intelligence, automation, integration, and transparency.
Yeah, that framework really hits home. But I have to ask, don't you think the reliance on quality data is a sticking point? I mean, if the data is fragmented and inconsistent, can these models really deliver the promised efficiency improvements?
That's a fair point. True, data quality is critical. They emphasize harmonizing standards like CDISC and HL7FHIR to overcome those barriers. Without standardized high-quality data, even the best AI strategies could misfire, leading to algorithmic bias and generalizability issues.
Right. And speaking of bias, the paper also notes that many AI models are built on data from high-income regions, which might lead to skewed results elsewhere. That's something regulators are really keeping an eye on.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where transparency or explainable AI comes into play. By making AI decisions more auditable and understandable, we build trust with both regulators and patients. It's like opening the black box to let stakeholders see what's really happening inside those algorithms.
I can imagine it's also a huge boost for patient recruitment. The case study from Cleveland Clinic was pretty striking, reducing screening time from several hours to just a couple of minutes with high accuracy.
Absolutely, it's almost revolutionary. Yeah, and those numbers, like reducing drug trial durations by up to 40% and operational costs by around 30%, sound promising. Yet, we have to wonder about the practical challenges in implementing these technologies on a global scale.
Definitely. Global infrastructure is a critical factor here. Without harmonized international standards and interoperable data systems, AI could end up optimizing isolated parts while the overall system remains inefficient.
Right. And it's not just about technology, but also about regulatory adaptation. With initiatives like the FDA's AI/ML frameworks and the EMA's guidelines, there's progress, but aligning all global stakeholders isn't an overnight job.
Yeah, so while the promise of AI in clinical trials is huge, it also demands a careful balance: investment in data quality, robust infrastructures, and transparent models to maintain ethical standards and regulatory trust.
Exactly. In summary, the integration of AI is transforming clinical research from a slow-moving process into one that's nimble and adaptive. This could ultimately lead to faster, safer, and more cost-effective trials.
It's fascinating to see how advanced analytics, digital twins, and adaptive designs can redefine the landscape. It gives hope for a future where patients receive life-saving treatments much sooner.
Right, absolutely. And as we progress further, maintaining transparency and ethical oversight will be key. Balancing all these components will, I believe, pave the way for AI to truly revolutionize clinical trials.
Well said. It's an exciting time for healthcare innovation, and I look forward to seeing how these strategies evolve and ultimately improve patient outcomes globally.
Right on.